Coucou guys and girls, I hope you're having a lovely day. I'm out there with a beautiful blue sky. There's not a single cloud. The sun is shining just behind me, and I'd like to talk to you about what is to eat enough. You know, there are people that don't eat enough, people that eat just fine, and others that overeat. And how does it work when you're doing that on a high carb, low fat diet? Let's start with the beginning. People that don't eat enough. Well, these people obviously are too skinny, and before you get too skinny, you'd like to correct the amount of food you're eating so that you can feel great and healthy. Okay, so let's start with a few signs that you're not eating sufficiently. Well, mood swings, it's a sign that your brain doesn't have enough carbs and you need to eat enough carbs. Like pasta, rice, bananas, dates, grapes, watermelon, oranges, what else? Bread, polenta, etc. High carb foods. Eat more of them so that your brain can function properly and not be in survival mode. Okay, another sign that you're not eating enough is that you're tired and you don't have motivation to do much. And you'd be surprised if you add some sugar in your life, you could feel like you want to move your body. So try that. Eat more carbs. I don't know, have some syrup, some fruit juice, something that you like, something that's high in carbs that you like. Another sign that you're undereating is when you feel cold, when everyone around you feels normal and warm. Another sign that you're not eating sufficiently is that you're slow in general. Like your brain is slow, you take time to process information that comes to you, or when you're trying to exercise, the performance is just not there. So that's a sign you need to eat more carbs. Okay, carb up. Well, when you are on a high carb low fat diet, eating plants, then obviously the food is going to be more calorie diluted than omnivore foods in general. Because high carb, low fat foods have more fiber, they have more carbs, less fat, they also have more water, and as a result you need to eat bigger volumes so that your body can have enough carbs. Usually people don't have to count calories, but sometimes when you go to a high carb, low fat diet and you struggle to eat enough, it's good to count your calories if it doesn't work with your instinct. I usually don't track calories, but sometimes I like to count them with chronometer just to check what I'm doing currently. And I like to eat a lot, so it's not really hard for me to eat enough. But some people have a small size stomach because they used to eat small volumes, but you can train your stomach to have bigger volumes. So just change your habit and then you'll adapt to the right amount of foods that you need to eat. Normally you should be able to listen to your instincts, but it doesn't really work for everyone at the beginning because of our past diet. The world standards for eating are way too fatty and contain animal foods which are high in fat and lack fiber. Anyway, if you're eating enough, you're feeling fine in the head, your body can function properly, there's no problem with motivation, your body mass index is right, around 20. A healthy BMI is between 18.5 and 25, but it's better to be around 20 in general. Okay, and what happens if you overeat on a high carb low fat diet? Well, if you're eating way too many potatoes or bananas for some reason, let's say you blend them and you have double amount of calories that you need, well, it's not a big issue. It's our natural food, so I wouldn't worry about it. When cows or horses overeat grass, it's not a big issue. They're not going to get obese. But let's say you overeat, your high carb low fat meal because you had a history of restriction, or let's say you want to do a challenge, for some reason you overeat, let's say you eat 2 times or 3 times what you need in a meal, well, obviously you are going to feel very full, and you're going to sleep on the sofa maybe for 2 hours, and then you'll be good again, good to go. Whereas if you eat way too much on a high-fat diet, then you're going to be out of service for more than 2 hours, I promise you. Even lions, when they eat a lot of animals, they sleep for hours. And we are not carnivores. Our stomach is not as acidic as theirs, which means when we eat a lot of fatty and high protein foods, then we're going to be out of service for a long time. And that's why people tend to drink coffee and tea and chocolate, because their energy is low, because their stomach is busy digesting, and then they want to use a whip, to get energy that should be available only for emergencies, and they keep using that emergency reserves of energy, and then as a result they're going to be more and more tired in the future, long term. Anyway, I said that it's okay to overeat on a high carb low fat diet. It's really hard to gain weight this way, but it can be done when you eat really a lot, like 3 times what you need, and you do it every day consistently for weeks and weeks. Yeah, then you can overload your system and gain some weight, but carbs are much more forgiving than extra fats, so don't worry too much about it. Just listen to your hunger and it should regulate by itself. And let's say you love to eat a lot, you've made a food contest and these kind of things for your whole life, and your stomach is used to a high volume of food, and maybe it's a good idea to go back to a smaller amounts, because you don't need to eat 500 grams of pasta unless you're doing an ultra trail or this kind of thing. But in general, like 200 grams of pasta should be enough. And you're going to save some money if you don't overeat consistently. But let's say you come back from a past of calorie restriction, then I think you have to reassure your body and show it with facts that you will feed it enough from now on. And it's amazing to see the bees around here again after such a long winter in Europe. Anyway, don't worry about overeating on a high carb low fat diet, but you need to make sure that you have enough. I usually have a surplus of 500 calories per day, and I don't get fat. I maintain myself, and that's because of thermogenesis, adaptive thermogenesis, and because carbs are very forgiving. Whereas fats, when you have too much of it, when you go over your calories, then 97% of the fat that's extra is going to be stored straight in the adipose tissue, and that's not cool if you're already overweight. Anyway, as I said, our natural diet is high carb foods like fruit, like tubers, and grains are not originally designed for us, but they are good survival food in the modern world, so I wouldn't dismiss the grains. Anyway, fruit and tubers, they are the staple of the natural human diet. And I would also add some refined foods, refined high carb foods. And what about, avocados and nuts and seeds? They're okay if you don't want to lose weight. I incorporate small amounts of them some days. In general, I eat around 10 grams of fat per day, and some days I do more, and I wouldn't worry about some avocado here and there, but I'm really careful not to add any oil to my diet. Well, let's say I eat with my family, okay, I would accept to have a bit of oil in the dish, but I don't add oil at home ever. No, oil is not human food. Oil is for lambs, and okay, it may be for the tips of the hair, but it's not for putting in your mouth. If you still don't know how to eat enough and you don't want to start tracking calories, well, it's okay. I have prepared a meal plan. It's really affordable. You can find it in the description of the video. And this is a plan for men, women, for active people, and for sedentary people. There are 4 different profiles, and you'll find yours there with the right amounts for you. And it's for 4 different seasons. Of course, with the shopping list, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. That's a great foundation for your high-carb, low-fat diet, so that you can thrive on it and enjoy it. If you have questions about this diet, I can talk about it in the next video, so I'm happy to read your suggestions here. And see you around, maybe out there in the forest. I think it's a better place than talking in my apartment. I hope you have a good day or a good night. See you.